He will represent our Zhonghua Bank Toastmaster Club to Kaohsiung, to win the prize. And before he starts, I also ask you a question. How do you introduce your hometown to foreigner?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mike. My hometown is from Taichung. When I prepare my contest speech, it reminds me lots of old time from my memory. I think it's a good thing. If you have memory, you have old things to remember, which means you have lots of things that you have done in the past, and maybe you have some relatives, you have family who loved you, and maybe you have the classmates, your friends. I think very good. So if you ask me, if I introduce someone, what will I do? Is don't just judge Taichung by the air pollution and the money panther. The Taichung is not only just this. We have beautiful scenery, and we have delicious food in Taichung, and we have good people right here. So, okay. Shall I begin my?
Yes.
How much is $100 worth? For me, it's priceless. It's an expression of love for my grandma. Toastmaster of the meeting, ladies and gentlemen. When I was a kid, my father worked abroad and my mother taught night school. So most of my childhood, I stayed with my grandma. Every day, she always gave me $100 as allowance. Hey grandma, may I have $100 for marshmallows? Here you are, little boy. Grandma, may I have $100 for cookies? Here you are, little boy. Grandma, may I have $100 for ice cream? Why are you always eating? She noticed that I didn't spend money well, and she came to me and said, "Hey, little boy, do you believe $100 can be more than $100? She looked at my doubtful eyes and turned $100 like this. Whoa. How did she do that? She knew she caught my attention, and she said, "Hey, little boy, if you spend your money well, $100 can be much more than your imagination." I thought I got what she said. And the next day, I ran to her and said, "Hey, Grandma, I know how to make $100 more than $100. I put it in the machine and pulled the bar. Then I got 200, see?" She looked worried and said, No, that's gambling, not good for you. Here, take the money and buy something good for you, like fruits or books." $100 was her show of affection. It was how I knew she cared about me. And no matter what happened, she would always be there. I held her hand. It was wrinkled and warm. A few years later, as a teenager, I thought I knew everything. So I did lots of rebellious things, like skipping classes to play video games, or hanging out with my friends at night. My grandma noticed, but she didn't know what to do. She was just an old lady and wished for her grandson to be peaceful and safe. One day, when I was going out with my friends at night, she slipped $100 into my hand and said, "Hey, little boy, $100 can be more, and I'm sure that you can be much more too." My friends sneered at me and said, "You took the money from your grandma? You are such a brat, little boy." I felt so embarrassed. Then I snatched the money, shook out her hand, and ran away. I can still remember her disappointed eyes and trembling, wrinkled hand. After that, my grandma didn't want me to feel embarrassed, so she put the $100 in the closet. Every time when I took the money from the closet and went out at night, she always sat by the closet and waited for me to come home. She always had faith in me and never gave up on me. I felt ashamed of myself, but I didn't know how to make it right. And I just acted blind and pretended everything was all right. By the end of junior high, I may have thought I knew everything, but the police didn't agree with me. When I was a guest at the police station for driving without a license, I was so scared and tried to call my grandma for help, but she wasn't there. I found out the next day that she was seriously sick and had to go to hospital for treatment. When I stayed with her in hospital, she was faint and frail, and I could do nothing about it. Then I realized she wouldn't be there to give me $100 or do magic tricks anymore. She gave me such unconditional love, but she was fading away. It hit me like a bolt of lightning, just how impermanent life is. Why should I hurt my grandma so much? Is this the life I really wanted? And I decided not to break her heart anymore. And I was determined to make up for lost time. I studied very hard in the library during the daytime and spent time with her in hospital at night. After studying very hard day and night for 3 months, I was successful in entering Taichung First Senior High School. And I went to tell her about this great news, but she couldn't hear anymore. I held her hand. It was still wrinkled, but cold and skinny. I wanted to tell her what I've done and how I've changed, but she couldn't answer me anymore. There were too many things to do, too many words to say, but only things left were regret and sorrow. Recently, I went back to my hometown and I thought about my grandma. Then I remembered there must be something still in the closet, and I found the $100 she had left for me was still there. I will not only put it right here, I will put it right here. It will not only remind me that the hundreds can be a lot more. It can be a devotion to change oneself and a love for my grandma, that she never gave up a naughty little boy. So let me ask you one more time. How much is $100 worth? Toastmaster of the meeting.